So, good evening everybody. Decisive Campaigns, Ardennes Offensive is on the menu. We are just gonna be making a couple of moves and then this turn is actually over. Just in case of anything. Let's call in some replacements. Couple of Stooks, 88mm flak, and they are assigned to the HQ, and from the HQ they trickle down, right? Then what else could we buy? I think we should... Let's look at the statistics a little bit. All supply source. Fuel. Supply source stocks. Are they now completely exhausted? Sent to units has increased as we called in more divisions. Sent to supply base. Received off map. This looks exactly the same. Supply status. Supply source stocks, we have supplies stocked, but this fuel situation looks actually bad. Like really bad. So if we look at this line now. Our stocks have been depleted. Basically. I guess we are gonna feel the impact in the next turn. I'm gonna call for more fuel. Because that looks really bad. To be honest, I didn't expect it to go down like that. I understand that we have a lot of armored units in the field. This was set to deplete mode, but I don't think... We could also set it to... Or we can keep it in deplete mode for the time being. Okay, I'm back. I don't know if you noticed today in Matrix Store they launched a new game, Campaign Series Vietnam. I think that looks really interesting. I'm really considering purchasing that one. But anyways. So yeah, that might be like a future project if I want to try to learn that game. It looks also kind of intense. A fair bit of learning curve associated. It's a smaller scale. In some scenarios it's like a squad. Couple of squads or something, but then the grandest scenarios have like massive amount of units. But yeah, like in the south I was really worried about this unit. because it's gonna be facing 2 tank units and a potentially an infantry unit. So an attack from 3 sides. And it's out of supplies. It has fairly okay readiness and vigor, but the HQ is really far away. So it's really... I don't expect that combat to go that well, to be fairly honest. And here in the south I was overconfident and I did a mistake. I thought I could take these guys out from the city, but no, they cost me Panthers. That's... I should have just trusted my intuition that we have to bypass it. But it's okay. We can still win this unless those supply issues become insurmountable. Like that's the only thing that can really mess things up bad. Yeah, in the Bastogne area I think we are done in here. I'm gonna show the stack values so you get an idea of what we have in here. Panzerlehr. So Panzerlehr's objective is to go south and maybe eventually even get to Arlon. And 2nd Panzer Division is to go north, either help against these units or this way. I'm not really sure yet. And then the 150th Panzer Brigade is supposed to create a perimeter of defense around Bastogne, mostly from the west. And we continue pushing from west from Bastogne after we get the units that I've called all of these reinforcements into their positions. But yeah, I think we moved everything here in the center. Let me see, are there any other cards? I could drop some luck points. I could try to do a paradrop for those Fallschirmjägers that have been isolated, but I'm unsure. Yeah, we have still political points to do some maneuvers if we want to. Here, nothing really what we can do except moving these guys forward if we want to. But then they would be exposed for an attack from 3 sides, so. And this hex, even though it looks that it has a potential to block some advance, but I don't think it's just worth it. So Knittel should remain here. Knittel took massive losses when I attacked here in the previous turn. Attacking like really small units like this one. This cavalry squadron. I think there was like the cavalry squadron, and then was the other one tank battalion, or was it this white? I think it was Team White, the other one. But it was just very one-sided. And here I made a couple of mistakes. I'm not really gonna discuss about it. I already mentioned those moves. Here, enemy artillery. We actually noticed that it's an artillery unit. So I'm just gonna move these guys. Yeah, I think I should just keep buying those fuel cards. You're right, Otto. I just wanted to compensate the game because I was playing a few turns with the 1.0004 patch, and they introduced a bug in that patch which reduced fuel consumption to 1/10 of the real thing. So that's why I kind of avoided buying those cards, because I felt like that I've been given this fake advantage. So that's why I kind of delayed buying those things. Sadly, we noticed that there are 2 enemy units. This is actually somewhat breakable position. We would just need to get both of the flanks covered, then we can take this infantry regiment out in the heavy forest. Another unit here has appeared. I didn't want to probe it. I could probe it just to know what kind of unit are we facing. But they have a lot of units here that can reinforce this position. So I think I'm just gonna settle on these positions. I think these pioneers could maybe move in here. The Stuks, I would really need them close here to the front to make the breakthrough happen. So if we really run out of supplies next turn, then we need to keep capturing these fuel depots. But yeah, those supply stats really looked scary. To be perfectly honest, I didn't know it was gonna look that bad. Now we have a line of sight with these Werfers. How many units are in here? 40, 20, so it's only 60 men. How about in here? 100. This is the position that we have to break. We can't really attack. We could destroy this. Look at the readiness. 9, 11. It's even kind of sad how low that is. So I'm gonna try to destroy them with this one barrage. Well, almost. We took half of them out. Basically they are just empty units. Units that can spot us but can't really harm us, you know. Indirect artillery fire. This is light forest. We could really harass their readiness, but it wouldn't do any damage. It's 33 recon, so kind of pointless. Here we have in the open fields. Not really. This is the trucks. Okay, this one is a big unit. 3 units together. Do we have any artillery that would have a line of sight? No. We have the Panthers now ready in here. We could even... You know what we can do. I think we can do a night advance. Like, we can infiltrate. Get here, break through. They can't spot us probably that well. I think that could be the way. We attack in the night. We use the Panthers specifically to punch a hole here in these 2 hexes. Then we use these Stuks and Werfers to clear this position. And then we just move the infantry. We take these positions here in the heavy forest. I think that would be something that we want to do. But let's just now, for the time being, let's continue shelling. So do we have anything more? I'm gonna give these guys the direct line of sight. They got a little bit intercept fire even. Brook has a good line of sight. This one doesn't really. Here is only 6% line of sight. Guess we have some artillery pieces that can deal with that. I'm gonna be shooting in here, even though I know it's not gonna be effective, but we have to lower the readiness. It was 5-point readiness lowering. Maybe we just keep the readiness high, 76 readiness with this unit. I'm gonna try to send the Stooks into the same position as the Pioneers. Okay, they are now there. Can't really fight that artillery. What if we... No. They would just destroy our guns because they will fire back. I don't know about their like... I have no knowledge. How much do they have ammunition left, or they haven't been firing, I think, though. Unless these guys just fired in here. But that's okay, that's maybe even good, because then they are using their ammunition and they can't necessarily fight that well. When I'm gonna go after them. Ranged attack, 2 rounds of ranged attack. With these Stooks. Nah, I'm just gonna save the readiness. Now we have a lot of stuff in here though. I think I want to just increase the readiness of all of these. Yeah, they are so low. They don't have to do anything this turn. And the Stooks are in forest, so we don't need to send these flak guns even there. So let's send the Panthers in. Ranged attack 346. Not that great in here, neither in here. Yeah, let's just leave them rest. They don't need to fight. Combat is always bad. For the readiness. That unit looks good. Like a great target. 4-1. Or not really though. They have just those tanks. It's a wrong target. This is the better one. That. This. Do we have anything else? Show me. No. Panzer artillery here in the really north. I want to spare those. So let's do with these. Yeah, not really good. These guns are not that good. And I think I should have maybe rather just moved them into the front lines. Problem is that they actually have some spotting in this hex. So orchestrating a major breakthrough in here might be actually kind of difficult. And because the terrain is heavy forest. Height level 2, height level 1, okay. No, this doesn't make any sense. (12-1). Yeah, let's just shell them again. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, the readiness of these guns is so bad, so I'm not gonna do anything, but these guys can really move, so do they have some spotting here, 6% chance of spotting. I'm not gonna risk it. We have this infiltration thing going on in here. But where should we strike? From this heavy forest into the light forest. This heavy forest, we don't really want to fight in the heavy forest. Well, let's keep it as such. So how should I move these guys? This way they get hidden, I can put them in here. Or I can move them during the night, you know. But night movement is always kind of bad. Okay, they got some intercept fire. They are now in heavy forest, and this is actually fields. Oh yeah, I forgot that completely. That this is actually a fields position. So I think our situation is that we have to try to move them. Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna risk. In the night time I'm gonna move. But should I move already one hex down into the heavy forest? These staff officers are in the wrong place. They would need to get into the HQ. I could move the HQ, but I don't want them to get intercepted. I just need those 20 men. Let me try if I could send the HQ heavy forest. This is 55 movement. This would be 50. I don't wanna do it in the open. I'm gonna do it in the night time. Night time they can like go here. And the Panzer artillery could actually fire 7-1. That's a pretty good. No return fire expected. 42-1 in this hex. Yeah, let's do the 40. Oh no, it's just 38-1. What? It's again this like randomness, you know. Or something. Do it. 30 men, okay. Yeah, like thus far in the north, I also like I haven't really been pushing here. I just wanted to defend here in the north, but now I called in all the reinforcements, and my idea is somehow to overwhelm Rotgen and get to Eupen. Because also like that's the shortest place. I mean like closest place for the reinforcements to reach the line of battle. But yeah, they could technically, these units could hold here. I can still also like keep pretending that I don't have that much forces in here, but I think they might have already figured it out that we have some concentrations in here going on. Yeah, this tank unit. One option is of course that we move like the pioneer unit into the woods. Which is like from the woods they can't really attack properly. But then we would have the second line of attack open. These guys can move rather fast. But I don't think I want to let the artillery to escape like that. How about these guys? We can still move maybe something. These guys could start also going in this way. That could be helpful because we just have a lot of artillery, not that many units. Here we have the units though. 93, that's a really high readiness. I think these guys should make a run for it. Run! Okay, they are now stuck there. They tried to like run forest run. They couldn't make it. They couldn't make it. These will probably get pinned down in the same spot. So but we need more guys in here, so I guess moving them in here would make sense. Yeah. And we could try to get the artillery closer. There's a light fortification in here. Yeah, let's just try to move the artillery where it could have an impact. This unit, don't really know. I could send it in here though, but do they have some line of vision? Like 3%? 25%. That's a little bit too high. So we have some infantry regiments that can still move. They have 6 movement points. belonging to Das Reich. Okay, this is now completely useless. We can't use that road. I guess I'm gonna move these guys also in here, just in case. And this infantry, it could move directly like along this road. How much is the movement? 19, 9, probably like 18, 27, 36. This is actually 10 higher, so 46, 56. So it might make it in there if we force, or if we just keep it in march mode. It might be able to get into this light forest. Really risky movement, but nighttime marching, running into an ambush nighttime in march mode. That's kind of bad. I think I'm gonna just stay behind here, or I can still stack this further, but they can see everything that I have in here, so I just don't want to really like reveal my true strength. Could we take out those guys? They apparently shouldn't be able to even return to my fire. I'm gonna try to see what I can do. Just 2 trucks, okay. Well, that's fine. I think I have to like risk this a little bit. And then move the Stooks. The Stooks could even go like here to some kind of infiltration. I don't know though. That's really far-fetched idea. This unit could move in here though, so we would have better recon. I think we can do that. This was a really good defensive position, but I think we had to give it away. Okay, it's a super strong unit. Even if we did like probe from high ground, we lost 40 men in that probe. So yeah. Okay, now we know. It's a very thick unit. I'm gonna give these orders to retreat if they need to. Also for these guys the same. I think that has to be like it. I don't think there is anything else that we want to do. Meh. That's the paratrop. If we have bad supply somewhere. Not even here, we have okay supplies in here. So that's great. Just only in the south. This one hex in here. That's where we could paratrop. Yeah. I think that's it. Did I forget anything? Yeah, I don't think I don't have any units in march mode in the open. Or you mean like these rear area units too? They are stacked, but they are not in open. These guys are either they're also inside city, inside a city, and this guy is in a city too. City. Oh, this unit can actually move. Okay, good. Spotted that one. But this unit is in the plains. It just quite couldn't make it. I can put it back to combat mode just in case. If they really probe this far too. So far back into my own lines. These units sadly are in a field. And they don't have any. So this guy is in field. This guy is 2. And the HQ along with panzer artillery. I guess we can move them in the town and then they can keep them. But these guys, they are stacked. I'm gonna be... Yeah, this is actually bad. Good that you mentioned. If they really go this much in the rear. So... Let's not make it an easy target. Well, it is an easy target, so many tanks in the same hex, but at least it's in combat mode. Yeah. And yeah, these trucks, but we can maybe take the unit out. Detach. And move the trucks in the city. Yeah, like that. The artillery can't move. Okay. I think we are fairly done now. Can't remember anything else. I had a little bit of a change of plans here. I'm planning to actually engage these tanks. That's why I moved the Panthers in here. I didn't want to bring them to the front line because they need to gather their readiness, so... Yeah, this is fine. Niche. I'm just gonna press now. I can then look at the chat more in detail. I think this is fine. If I can see some ranged weapons that I could have used, like for instance this one. Yeah, it has only 2. No way. No. Let's press play. Let's see what happens. And now I can check the chat. Focus all resources on the mobile unit drive Brussels, Antwerp. Yeah, like Antwerp. Well, that's the historical goal, like Antwerp, but the furthest in the map it's Liège and Namur on that side. So you actually made it even possible that Piper is getting to Malmedy on the 17th. That's great. Yeah, pushing the units along the whole front. That is kind of okay. 6 Panthers lost, even though I put the freaking flak guns there. And they somehow spotted my intercept. They freaking spotted my Stooks in, was it in Heavy Forest? Whoa, they are like going all over the place, these guys. Intercept fire. What are they doing in there? Now my tanks are really hurt. Yeah, those Panthers. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like way too ambitious. I should have just accepted that we attack like one by one, slowly working our way. But yeah. Live and learn. Live and learn. Even though like my intuition was mostly right, but then I just always kind of reversed my decision, and that's not really great. You should always kind of trust maybe that first. Not in all cases, but it's usually better than second thoughts that you get. Yeah, a lot of intercept fire, because I guess I'm like completely loose cannon there. I fire everything that moves. The enemy is now a little bit disoriented because we moved those units on those roads. They are moving along Rotgen and all over the place. But yeah, I guess I was a little bit too ambitious. I was going after like getting a victory in the north, getting victory in the south, center, instead of focusing like a real tank drive, you know. Instead of that, I just decided that I want to take all the places without really creating proper encirclements. So okay, did they just wipe out that unit, or did it manage to retreat somewhere? I can't see it on the map. Artillery. They are really preparing for an attack against those Fallschirmjägers. Team Robin is moving in. Altmaier artillery into the city. Yeah, okay. We have to look at that one battle that looked really bad. They might have, if it was a Kampfgruppe, it might have like even disintegrated. You know, if it panics, or I don't know, is there even a chance if it's table of equipment, but they don't have table of equipment requirements, Kampfgruppen. Look at these swarms of American units all over the place. 427 moves. That's a record thus far. And imagine now if we see fuel canisters all over the front. Tanks can't move anymore. Then I would have to go back to the drawing board and like rethink that. How are you supposed to play this supply-wise? Night overcast, light freeze. 215 victory points right now. Our losses are 7,890, 44,000 for the enemy. So let's go back to the history. Airstrike, 6 Panthers lost. Simply because my own greed. Airstrike. 1 RSO lost, okay. Air supply. Even though I have these freaking flak guns right next to it, can't they honestly stop that? Air supply delivered 600 supply and 120 fuel. Flak repelled 10 of 16 aircraft. So okay, we managed to repel more than half. But it's not enough. We would have needed a second flak gun in here. And this was a suicidal move from the enemy. They moved some artillery unit. And then they apparently just bumped into my units. They destroyed this unit practically. Some really small airborne unit. Really small. Artillery fire here in the south. Okay, and this attack. No, we managed to withdraw, so we had Panzergrenadiers, Nachtruppen, 75mm pack guns. They went in with 830 engineers, 840 airborne men, 104 bazookas, 9 Shermans, 17 mortars and so on. We lost 60 Panzergrenadiers, 10 Nachtruppen, 1/3 of pack guns, and then we lost a bunch of other stuff too, but their losses were 250 men. Well, I hope it was worth it that they cleared that one hex. They pounded our positions with artillery, and that's it. Let's look at the stats. Casualties inflicted, yeah, 53.9k, 10k. Regime stats. Unit fuel. Requested. Received. So in previous turns, look at this. This is now important. In previous turns, received from supply source has been exactly matched by the requested has been matched by what they received. But right now this is the first turn when there is actually a gap. And this scale is just a little bit misleading. Forget about this scale. So it's like 30,000 fuel didn't make it. They didn't receive 30,000 fuel. That's pretty catastrophic. Okay. All supply source fuel. Supply source stocks 0. Sent to units 49,000. Received off map 30,000. So we have 0 stocks. Sent to supply base also 0. So we ran out of oil. 20th. of December, round 16. So we are effectively out of oil. And historically, yeah, I remember it's 6 days. It was 6 days, but we have only fought for 4 days. But I might have moved my units more, and I called in Frunsberg. So yeah. So okay, we have to do a reality check what we can actually achieve. So we called in Frunsberg. I think I should have probably not called in Frunsberg. Ai. Fuel card is now 40. It's getting more expensive turn after turn, you know. 15,000 fuel. Yeah, I'm gonna be buying that fuel. Jesus. I'm gonna be buying also replacements and I don't know, man. This is just really bad. So yeah, now we just basically have to capture those. Like where does the enemy have more supply bases? It's in Spa, here is one. But look at this, yeah, we got quite badly hurt. There's too low recon to go in here, so oof. I don't know. Like, you know, they have been tweaking the game in terms of the cost of those fuel cards and all those kind of stuff, so like the latest beta patch might be a little bit different. Yeah, I think that one extra, the Frunsberg, really messed that up. I assume like they just ate one day of fuel worth, basically. So I guess that is kind of historical. But yeah, I estimate that they will have a lot of patches in this, and of course in the editor you could probably just make it so give Germany like two more days of fuel or something like that. But yeah, whatever I do now here, is it so that the units, even though they don't move, they will, or they don't probably consume fuel if they don't move, I think. It's only if they move. We are basically at 215 victory points, so this would be a major victory under the new rules. Let's, by the way, look at that one really bad airstrike. This one. 503 flak points, repelled 3 out of 16 aircraft. Okay. I guess the effect would have been the same had I had the flak guns in a different spot. I guess, yeah, I'm just now trying to like think, can we save this somehow? Can we save this campaign? Hopefully. Like in the beginning I didn't use that much March mode. I take full responsibility of that. It was my own bad. Like here I could also use March mode, but it's just the March mode has always that cost, that inherent cost. That you lose readiness, and quite a lot of it. We could harass these guys. What would be this? This would be... We can just do a night probe. Yeah. So their readiness doesn't generate as bad or as good as well. Yeah, I'm just a little bit shocked. These guys are not really gathering any readiness in the woods. So what is it so that do they have to be in a city or something, or why don't they gather readiness? Even though I don't move them. Special hex variables, water 98. What the hell does that mean? I think I have to move the unit away. I'm just gonna move them in here. And then in the morning into the city. And we managed to actually get some supplies here. 189 entrenchment. Okay. Keep those guys in there. This would have been also a great time to move these artillery pieces into the city. How far could they move? To the same position, so... These guys can move up here. Yeah, those Greif units they are just ice. But yeah, the campaign is still not dead though. I'm just thinking like it's still not dead, but now this was like a reality check that I guess the only way that we can keep pushing, you know, at this stage is that we look at the unit cards, standing orders. We have the supply 100%. I guess this supply value also applies to the fuel value, you know. Because if that is the case, we could then maybe like say that okay, you guys don't get the fuel, but the fuel is in the game though. It's modeled in such a way that you either get everything or you don't get anything. Whereas with supplies, you get the percentages based on the supply range that are you in the green or something like that. What is Recon is only 28. I don't think I'm gonna be fire. I'm not gonna be doing anything. I'm gonna send I don't know, I'm just thinking, should I still perform night attack on the enemy or just because they can't do airstrikes at night, you know? So maybe I just stay where I am right now. And Hardik. What is wrong with Kampfgruppe Gutmann? Like is it that you are no longer okay? You are no longer motorized. That's the problem. Like you can basically march, but you can't use the roads like a normal person. And we are like surrounded by these 101st Airborne units here. Everywhere. Like completely surrounded. And our HQ is in here. Completely vulnerable. But are they that crazy that they would like go off-road and they can't know what kind of unit I have in here? So I'm gonna be, but I can always move the HQ in here though, out of the harm's way. Or I can just fall it back, like here, or into this forest. Into the forest, I think that's the safest bet. Okay, and these guys are no longer. Yeah, this is tough. Now this game is getting. This is like a turning point. It's gonna be happening in all campaigns you play as the Germans eventually. So you just have to get that mindset, you know. But I was still surprised. There might be enemies here. Recon is only one. Yeah, like. Yeah, like good luck with that. I don't know, what the hell do I do? I'm like completely confused. I'm gonna keep pounding this. Pounding this place. We have 55 recon because we performed that attack. No hits, yeah, we don't need to hit those guys anymore. Yeah, there's definitely unit in the town, so It's not really even worth considering that. It's gonna keep moving these guys. I think a buck gun will do. And the flak gun will follow. Something like that. Can we achieve something by doing these night movements? Probably not. With this unit I would say yes. Maybe we want to do exactly that. Just move everybody. We could go to Lintgen, or at least like in front of it. Try to like sneak there. Sneak in there. Let's go and cross that river. Take a little bit of a risk. Maybe one unit should have gone here and this guy could have like closed in here, but nah. Okay. We would need to get these guys, everybody like here. What should they be resting? And should these guys be marching? I think they can just march because less fuel consumed. Okay, finally some hits. Now I'm checking the chat again. Yeah, just reading through. You're treating AGB as a map reserve. Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah, you're at the point when you need an entire day to gather properly to continue. Yeah, like continue the offensive. To hold on. Stop and go kind of affair. But yeah, some people, I remember in the forums, they were like talking about the main campaign and then they were actually discussing, you know, as German units. You like use the tanks, you make the breakthroughs, you like are marching hard towards your objectives here on the northwestern part of the map, and then you just run out of fuel, and what you end up doing is that you just ditch all your vehicles and put every unit into these like completely immobile foot units. So I guess that is the one way, like, you know, get rid of all of these trucks and whatnot to move the artillery. You use basic horses to move them around. I guess that's the future. No matter what you do, that's the future if you play as the Germans in this campaign. I think I would like to harass this unit. Also, I would like to harass multiple units in here, but yeah, I'm just thinking like shelling them at night might hurt their readiness generation quite a bit. Even though if we don't score hits, it doesn't. And they have quite okay, everybody has a high readiness already, so they are not really generating anything that they wouldn't have. I don't know why our supply is cut off in here. It's a possibility that it's being cut, but how the hell did they get a unit in here? Okay, this unit I have to actually destroy. It's been such a nuisance to me, to everybody. This I could probe. We get some sense what is in there. Okay, it's a Team Allen airborne unit. And our recon is 49. 77, no. 15 to 1. Is that the best you can do? Team Allen needs to be destroyed. I'm gonna fire maybe with gonna move these guys out first from the open. No idea did we score any hits, our recon was so low. Yeah, it's very low recon. Only 10 men taken out. That barrage, I think we will attack this way. Finally, they capitulated. Now we just would need to push out Team Allen. And could there really be an enemy unit in here? I'm really skeptical. We need to establish a proper defensive perimeter. we are just in basic fields of snow. Yeah, we can't stay in here. We have to either move here or here. If we move here, then these guys need to move here. And the best case would be to take out Team Allen, but they might have an ambush. They might have... Let's look at the history tab, by the way. We have to look like one by one. If I can see one unit moving in there. No. This is Team Allen, okay. Anything else happening there except Team Allen? No. Just really quickly going through this to see if there was anything. No, no, no. Nope. You're just halfway there. Whatever, it doesn't make sense to go through those all. Well, we saw at least something. Something had been going on in there. At least we have that position now. These have high entrenchment in here, so that's at least good. 1-to-1, yeah, we can get really nice modifier. Let's use some werfers. 20 men. 20 men readiness is only half what it's used to be. My only problem is that these guys don't have that much fuel. I'm gonna try to move the Panzerjägerabteilung in here. They will die if they fail. They will die anyways if they fail. Okay. Great. And now Team Allen has been surrounded. And Panthers should either rest, because this movement or across here is really difficult. I'm gonna go back in here. These Tooks can't get out. Well, then they just have to go. Although this movement would be 0 cost. Then they can get in here. Okay. Do these guys belong to some different... Why is it only 30% now modifier? '18th, yeah, they are, okay, yeah, they are belong to different units. That is an actual issue. Okay, 40 men taken out. Now it's looking quite ripe to attack that position. Let's put one more barrage. Okay, that's enough. Enough is enough. 9-to-1. 11 to 1. I'm not gonna use those guys. I just hope that we will be able to move out of harm's way with this unit though. I'm even thinking about like an all-out attack. Or let's just empty our warfares on these guys. Or do we have proper artillery? Okay, no thank you. You're way too far. And you are not artillery. Okay. So this one can give us like really nice odds. 11 to 1, 13 to 1. Let's try attack, all-out attack in the night. I want to try it out because like they have only 100 modified of defensive power. We modified this, multiplied this by 66%. Okay, capitulation. And we can move them in the city. That's exactly what I wanted to do. And the Panthers could either rest or we could get them in their proper place. They really would need that rest. I would hate to deny them of that rest, but I'm gonna keep them where they are right now, no matter what. These Stuks are really not generating readiness. For some reason, I don't know what's happening. But look at them, the readiness is 48. I don't remember what it was in the previous turn, but that's basically nothing. These have just fuck guns. Something like that. 39 readiness with this unit, okay. And we actually have 2 flak units here surrounding, and still they are able to put supplies through. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Let's try to get these guys. I'm gonna keep those one unit. I'm gonna keep the artillery in place. These guys can march it out. $48.39. Let's see if they generate that readiness when I don't move them during the night. Gonna move these Fallschirmjägers in here. Also the other units can just stay put. No need for them to do anything. You know what? I'm gonna move the pioneers back in here, I think. Into the front line. Yeah, like that. Do we have some Nebelwerfers that we could put directly in front of those enemy stacks? We have that one big one, this one. I'm willing to put like 3 full welfare stacks in here. Or something like that. Yeah, I think that looks okay. Okay, the enemy actually moved in here. I'm gonna check the chat. Pioneers can build bridges, 200 bridge points and control over both hexes. They can even move after. Actually, I knew that there was this new bridge card that you can do. I thought the new bridges happen always like that. I thought that the pioneers can only just restore existing ones without the card. But that's okay, that's a core mechanic, so I assume that yeah, they probably can do that. It probably also, like, you know, the repairing the bridge depends on the river type. Like, XL bridge is 400 EP to be repaired. 300 is major river, minor 100, medium 200, and so on. I think we could... Yeah, we can even attack this with a proper... We can move this guy in here. Use that to probe that position. Okay, they lost 30 men by simply probing. Is it that they had the same experience, so it was just... Who knows what. What kind of artillery barrage can you give me here? No. Just trucks, mortars, bazookas, anti-tank. Nothing really that useful. 55. Okay. Let's try one barrage with Werfers. That's more like it. Do another one too. Attack. Attacker won. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. They really got badly hit. Recon in force, and then we use the Stux to finish them off. Yeah, we gained the sufficient recon. We know that it's just them in that hex. Okay, we won. Okay. Yeah, we are already out of oil, you know. I don't know, I don't have anybody else to blame about the fuel problem than myself, so... But I still feel a little bit sad about it, that it kind of kills the campaign. You just can't do anything anymore. Or there is much less things that you can do. So, and if we think about it, it's gonna be 64 rounds and this is just round 16. So, I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that the American units approached us. They just came forward voluntarily. And I can just flank them with Panzer Regiment. So, I don't know. Yeah, let's do that kind of barrage there. Okay, our recon is so low, so we couldn't really hit anything. So I guess it would be better to... I don't know, does this night attack make any sense though? How experienced are those Panther people? I just went 29 experience only. So they're gonna be performing really not that well. I think these guys are much more experienced. Yeah, these have way more experience and I don't think I'm gonna be using them after this attack, so I can do something like this. 125 to 1 seems about right. But I think we underestimate that enemy unit. So apparently we didn't. It was just ugly. We didn't take a single... Not a single unit lost. I think we can send some of this equipment forward. Also artillery equipment, why not? And we can just overstack it. It hasn't really, the stack isn't even that big right now. I'm gonna hide this infantry unit also in here. And then, I don't know, do I put the flak guns in there? They would be useful in the daytime, so I'm gonna put them there. And now we can actually move all of these guys. We have some visibility in here, but we can't really see what's going on. We have Panzer Artillery 2. I guess we have to wait till the morning to see what's really going on. Here I think there's multiple units. I could let these guys even rest. How about getting the panzers in the light forest here? There's probably a wall of enemies in here. If we leave the panzers out in the open, that's of course really bad, but they can't do airstrikes. Can't probably hurt us that bad. And we need to get the HQ closer to the front. Okay, I reinforced this position, and now I've figured out the enemy's strength. And I feel like we could do some small probes. Small probes and then use the artillery, or wait till morning. We don't have to attack right now. Yeah, let's just overwhelm in the morning. And this artillery will take a long time to be moved. 29, 16, okay. 13 hexes is with these guys. Go in there. We can get these guys in here. They sadly have to stay in this hex. We could maybe stay even in here. I doubt that they don't really see me unless they move close. The night movement is a little bit tricky always. Really difficult to say anything about that. I would really need the readiness to regenerate, but I would also need to flank these guys from multiple sides. So I'm gonna be moving the tanks in here. And the pioneers can go in here. And in the next turn these guys will appear here. And we will attack from 3 sides. I think that's about it. The rest can just rest. And these guys can stay hidden, except the Werfers could get in here. Werfers, and they actually revealed the enemy to us. Werfers. I would also say that Pakkans could go there. The rest has to stay put. Everybody else here, they can just regroup. They get sufficient supplies, those enemy units. Not really sure. I think we can just try and maybe harass them with ranged attack. If that even hit anything. Okay. I think we need those guys to reinforce these positions. These belong to Leibstandard. The Leibstandard is in there, so it should also move north. That is belonging to Piper, so they also should move north. Okay. I'm gonna keep these guys their current positions. Woodman is just gonna wait in here. Need to wait and carry stats. Okay, this is also partially mechanized only. This artillery should be going to the north. Fields of snow. Serler. Oh, it's just out of the reach. Okay, this is now in deplete mode. Taking supplies. I guess we could turn it into a regular mode then. Or let me see again. Fuel points. Okay, they have fuel points in this depot, so I guess we're just gonna have to deplete those. I think we could definitely tighten. Our recon is so bad at night. Doesn't even make sense. Too scary to move in here, so no. Let's not move. Let's just not move. This artillery is usually not really effective at all, so I could maybe use this in here. Just to harass those enemy units. 10 men killed. I don't know, was it worth it? This is gonna be a major battle in here. Gonna put 75% losses. Yeah, we shouldn't be doing any offensives. I think we could just sit tight, you know. Sit tight and see what is gonna happen. These units would need to go to Fielsalm. Fallschirmjäger Regiment. 3rd Fallschirmjäger Division. So it's all of these guys. I think I could send these trucks. We could motorize Gutmann. Create a new battle group. 3 political points. So what if I say that I'm gonna split it? Ah, you can't reduce that much. Yeah, it has to have enough of power points. Move these trucks in here. And apparently these guys can't climb up, they have to move via road, so whatever. Yeah, just go into that city. Yeah, I think we are fairly done. Yeah, they are trying to hit us with artillery, but they haven't really been successful. I don't know, are they still holding that position? Hauser should rest. So should like all of these guys. We could get the Werfers into the city or near to the city. How effective recon can they? They can't really probably do that effective recon. I'm gonna be moving these guys during the night, even though they are unescorted. Also moving all those Werfers in there. Let's move these guys also in here, so that we just get them a little bit closer. Because I expect that the enemy is here in shoes. And I'm gonna be guy should maybe go in here, just that they can't spot me from that way. I'm gonna move this guy here just in case to secure the crossing. And then for the next turn's attack, I'm gonna keep these actually in here. That guy can move. Where is the HQ? HQ is in here. HQ is a little bit lagging behind now. Yeah, whatever, I'm gonna move the HQ in here, so good luck with that. And those guys are also gonna be moving through the night. Some night movement, small moves. I don't know, something like that. Let's stack this position good. We can get these guys in here. That artillery. Probably need somebody to guard these flanks eventually. So I actually think that we could do like this. Yeah, that's good. Any cards that we want to play. Let's play replacements card. Okay. Nothing else really, I can't think of anything. Now checking the chat. Okay, I'm checking now. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking about starting again, but that would have to be a little bit later, I think then. I've been playing War in the East too. I have ongoing campaign. It's the from Stalingrad to Berlin scenario, which hasn't been streamed that often. So that was like my because I played the main campaign twice as the Axis. I haven't played it yet as the Soviets. That's of course something that I'm eager to do also at some point. But I'm not sure. Does anybody care to see a basic Soviet campaign? But maybe that would be also interesting. But yeah, I'm playing as the Axis, Stalingrad to Berlin. It's really a hellish experience because you have to defend constantly. You know, it starts off Stalingrad getting encircled, and you have to make a decision. Do you leave the 6th Army in the entrenched positions around the city, or do you try to pull them out? And if you try to pull them out, how can you get them alive? Or how can you make sure that your rescue mission doesn't get trapped itself? And then the Soviets are also attacking like all different parts of the whole line. Italian sector, Hungarian sector, in the Caucasus. They are trying to free up Leningrad. They are trying to destroy Army Group Center. So basically the whole front is in chaos when you start. And you are completely outnumbered. But I kind of managed to withstand the initial attacks, and I was able to rescue parts of the 6th Army, but they are still like making a fighting retreat behind Don River, and the Soviets have now managed to do another breakthrough next to Orel. So it's like putting out fires, and then you are like having these thoughts that yeah, we are gonna push towards Moscow and we are gonna still turn this around, but then you notice that there is just hordes of Soviet units still out there attacking you, ready to attack you, because that's the thing, like that you are completely stretched to move all of the units to the front line instead of having those mobile reserves in the background. Whereas the Soviets, they just attack and then they pull out the unit, they rest it, and then they attack again with a fresh unit. So it's like those kind of problems there. Yeah, I haven't really been yet thinking about setting up a Discord channel or anything. I'm still like quite a small streamer, like just started. But I have that. I'm putting these videos on YouTube, even though they are fairly long. I edited some videos, but then I just kind of didn't feel like editing that much. But War in the East 2, I think that's that kind of game where editing really makes sense, because people don't necessarily want to see all of those small tweaks that you do around the front. I'm gonna actually move those guys there. And these guys have to be much closer, even though it's gonna be associated with the readiness loss. But yeah. Now I just don't have my phone around, so I can't really check the chat super fast. I need to probably get like an extra battery for it or something, because I usually stream, if I stream in the end of the day, I don't have it necessarily charged, and then when I start streaming I use it to look at the chat, because I don't have enough space in my workstation to get a second screen or something, so that's why I'm a little bit late with the chat. But I don't think I usually am. Usually I can follow the chat quite well. But okay, I think I'm done with this turn. Yeah, I think I'm actually done. I don't want to move any of these guys. Let them rest. Let them chill. These guys maybe could move into a better position. This is maybe the only thing. Yeah, I'm gonna move them a little bit further still, so let's just place them there. But yeah, I don't know, Otto, did you know this, but I said in the very beginning of the stream that did you notice that the new what was it called, campaign series game, Vietnam, came out today. I'm just gonna press the turn now, and at the same time I can talk. So yeah, like that. Sorry, I touched the microphone there. So I got the game actually. I haven't played those games. It doesn't look aesthetically as pleasing as this game. But it just has tons and tons of like individual scenarios, individual battles with small scale units. Kind of gave me like same kind of feeling that like just watched Band of Brothers last and this week. I watched all of those episodes. It was probably like my second or third time that I've seen them, because I saw them initially like in the early 2000s or something. It was kind of refreshing to see it again. But yeah, like it's really like in that kind of small scale, even company level combat. And you have those like tasks that you have to do. They are like all quite detailed, scripted campaigns. So not like individual battles. So I was just thinking that would be a really interesting game to learn. So they are actually attacking there. Or what happened there? Let me open an attack. They moved. An attack again. Why didn't they learn that from their first mistake? That they moved artillery into that city and now they tried to move, or did they try to just probe it or something, but they took really big losses. And they lost 80 men there. Very weird. 30 men. They tried to attack us. Yeah, the AI is doing kind of crazy things. And they are trying to attack my town with panthers there. Not really the smartest AI in those respects. I don't know. But of course I can't know how it looked like from the AI's perspective. Like in the previous turn. I'm not sure how good of a memory does the AI like have. Does it have any like recollection of the previous turns, enemy positions, or does it just completely go with the information that it has at hand? I think so. Because human player of course remembers to some degree the enemy positions. 217 and 45,000 to 7,900. And we got Jabo. And let's check the stats, regime stats. Supplies, fuel. Sent to units. What did we request? Is it here? Supplies or stocks are 0. Yes, they are 0. Sent to units was still 45,000. Received off map was 30,000. Why am I so confused now? Just the stocks are empty, but stuff still got sent. Sent to supply base 0. Unit supply. Unit fuel. Okay, this is maybe more important for us. Unit fuel requested 53,000, received 45,000. So almost matched the demand. Okay. And if now we inspect, for instance, this Panther division, or Panther unit, let's check the supplies. Fuel, 4700 out of 4800. And rear area fuel is now 80. Oh shit, so it's like doubling. The price is doubled. Nice. We have to probably play that. I'm not getting anything else, so fuel for 80 bucks. Thank you. 33 points left. Okay, and there's like a massive amount of truck units in here. And they cut off these guys' supply. They didn't attack us, luckily. Here is a massive stack. Readiness is still 45. It's not increasing. Morale increase, I guess we have to do it for Leibstandarte. Plate. Morale has increased with 3 points. Okay, and they withdrew now their units from here. And I can do those frontal warfare attacks. And actually, if we are mega successful, we can like go through here. You know, I'm gonna be doing it like this. Almost wiped out everything. There's just rear area bazookas. Yeah, these guys also just 47. I guess I would need to really check the manual. Is it so that you don't get any readiness if the unit is in contact with the enemy? Is it so? Is there also like a... Who's the other guy who's playing Decisive Campaigns? Like on the stream, I've noticed there was some... Was it some like Slovenian guy or something who was playing? And I think there is another Finnish person who's also playing, but he doesn't really play the game that often. Kind of randomly. I don't know about anybody else that would be streaming this. That's kind of a shame. I really think it's a shame because this is a exceptionally cool game. And I think some of those reviews, you know, they said that Decisive Campaigns, Ardennes Offensive, from those really like hardcore wargamer blog sites basically, they gave this like, there was one review that gave it 8.5. I think because they probably liked so much those previous games like Barbarossa and other VR design games, but what is of course lacking here is that kind of alternative history where you would have like personal relationships between commanders and so on. What is present in those other titles, but here we have the mechanics and we have this like really interesting scale. So I guess also like the other blog posts, besides that, they said that yeah, this is the best war game of 2021, and I basically I almost have to agree. It's really difficult to put this against like War in the East 2. It's a little bit different scale of a project, I understand, but I find this just very entertaining, and maybe like consider playing this as with a friend. By the way, I have some internet issues. I didn't notice, but I have had 130 frame drops. That's still not a huge ton, but you can just let me know if the connection gets unstable. Yeah, I also think that this scale of just below division level, you are like basically regiment, battalion level combat. Okay, good to know that the connection still is stable. And yeah, most of my games, I haven't really been like, you know, some people play multiplayer like in Hearts of Iron or something like that, but I think in this kind of game, the problem of course with the multiplayer is that you really have to have the friend or the opponent after each turn would have to take the other turn. So in those smaller scenarios it could work out so that you like do your thing and you both are playing at the same time, or like the other person is just is like just waiting there to get the turn if it's a small scenario, if you have to like do the moves in 10 minutes or something like that. But and then if you're playing this grand campaign, it could be like one day and then you hand out one turn in one day to the other person. That could also work out. In War in the East too, some of those like online games, they've taken like weeks, and then what was it? It was the War in the Pacific, where some people have been playing the same game, you know, for several years even. But I don't think I have that kind of patience. I think we could now just hack our way through these enemy positions. We need to boost these guys' morale, I guess. Getting a nice victory will boost their morale. But should we leave the tanks out of the attack? I don't think so. I think we want to finish this attack as fast as possible. And in this case, I'm willing to do all-out attack. Because I think their hitting value is so low. They can of course hurt my tanks, but I'm willing to take that risk. Panthers, no losses, yep. And that was just 3 rounds of combat. I think the most difficult thing was here that heavy artillery fire. And move those guys in here. And should we try to get the Werfers even closer? They have now 50% line of sight. They don't necessarily need to get any closer. Yeah, let's do this kind of warfare attack. Well, look at that. If they have direct line of sight and even somehow sufficient amount of supplies, they can do crazy damage. That's just completely insane. Okay, there's still another unit here. Hiding in the background. Why are you saying that you can't attack them? For some reason it's like not giving me the chance. Even though I know that they can. They can attack. None of these guys have any vision in here. So they have to fire like completely blind. We are really missing like flak guns in here if we would like to push through. Like imagine being able to cut off these two positions. That would mean that all of these guys are out of supplies. We might still try to send some supplies like that, but to these guys, they have a couple of mortars. Supply isn't that good anymore in that position. 66. I think they will get intercepted if we try to move there. "46. These are also 46. Let's give them a go. They have only two rounds of warfare fire. That's too little, sadly. Offensive bonus. Lead, offensive bonus, emergency unit. No, that's not helpful at all. Yeah. I guess we just have to do a basic kind of attack. These two together. Okay. 50 men taken out. That's fairly good. Do one more. They don't have any more anti-tank guns. They have 13 bazookas though. 9-1. How about we do one more shelling? "46. I think they are gonna get intercepted, and they have only then like under 3 rounds of fire. That's very little. Maybe rather just do this kind of bombardment. Oh, maybe deselect that. Select this. Okay, that's really nice. Now it's basically an empty unit. But getting the tanks into safety still looks really difficult. I'm gonna go all out attack with just the tanks. Yep, 2 rounds of combat. They can get into this cross section. How about? Yeah, but there's these 155mm guns in here waiting for us. Okay. They quite bad hit. How about in here? Okay, they... Oh, these are just guns. They are... Yeah, 155mm howitzers. I'm checking the chat now. So you've been playing You Go I Go games since early 80s. That's a long time ago. Okay. Those were probably then like board games, right? And then at some point like I know this one YouTuber or I just follow his channel. He has been like showcasing like all kinds of war games. I think it's is it Smart War Games or something like that, the channel name. But he has been like showing those really early days, like we talk about 90s or like I'm not even sure like how early, but those basically are lacking like these kind of visual interfaces where you have to give the command move the ship in the Atlantic to this hex, and you just give in the coordinates and you like type in a command line that it's this ship A to coordinate that and that hex without any like graphical user interface. So those are like kind of hardcore games I never knew even existed, but I guess like people who have been or like many of those games probably end up like being used by like hobby war gamers, and then I at least know that some of those like naval simulators that people been doing, they actually the people who make those kinds of games can end up being hired by the military to actually construct like actual simulators that can be used to train in the army. But that's not like a bad idea. Like with a 2 type of game, multiple people could be just I take this army group, you take that, and then you'll resolve the turn like in, I don't know, 15 minutes or something. Like that could be really interesting concept. I have quite a lot of hopes for this new game that is gonna come out this year. It was in that Matrix Slytherin winter announcement thing when they were like showcasing all those new projects and games that they were planning to do. There was this one Vigo game. It was about Cold War Germany, conflict with the Soviet Union, NATO forces and the Soviet Union. And I think that looked really interesting. And that game had just like, I don't know if I understood correctly, they have some kind of like time. They are playing with time in some sense in that game. Because both of players are planning the moves at the same time, and then when the turn is resolved, they might like bump into each other or something like that. And I don't know, was there also like that which of the players move this, like in which sequence you move the units, or if you have to move the unit first into that place, they are because they take a certain number of action points already, which can mean that they are then time-wise maybe in that specific location where the enemy already has moved in. They would be arriving after. Because yeah, you can always convert action points into time. But yeah, I don't really know the specifics of. It was Flashpoint Campaigns. That was the name of the game. Let's look at this situation in here. Look at that. So they decided to make this massive front line and all artillery into this one hex, like inviting us to wipe it out. We would really need something like long range, or is it just the one Werfer attack that will do the trick, you know? Werfer attack in here, of course, can completely obliterate. Imagine this hex. Like if we could get a Werfer attack in here into this open plains. 5 enemy units and then a really strong tank unit. Would we like wipe it out completely out of the map? Yeah, but it seems to me that like right now the AI is like considering that they would be somehow stronger than us, so they decided to approach us here in the open. So I don't know what would be your approach in this situation, but my first plan would be to take out the artillery, so that wouldn't mess up or support in many of these combats. This might not be worth shelling this mortar position. Here we have a massive concentration of enemy force, so sadly we have no Werfers in here or here, so we can't have a direct line of fire. But I see all of these guys really are in a really vulnerable position right now. If I were the AI player, I would, as the allies, I would never do this. Unless I'm like really certain that I can break this position, but no. This is just insanity what the AI is doing in here. They are throwing their best reinforcements. And probably they're gonna get really badly hit. But yeah, I have to check the readiness generation because I don't understand why did these guys, they didn't. Vigor can be recovered by not moving and not initiating combat, preferably without being attacked. But I guess they were attacked, yeah, they might have been attacked by an enemy unit. So that's why they couldn't gather more vigor. We could move the HQ in here into heavy forest, but the airborne units could still maybe take us out. And then we would be like completely leaderless with that unit, so maybe no. Yeah, I'm just now gonna be looking at the front. I'm gonna go probably to bed, you know. I had my shot in the morning. My hand is a little bit sour, so yeah. No other side effects. Have you noticed the little text next to the hexed info tab, obstacle distance? Then you select the unit. Like now we've selected the unit. Is it here next to the hex stats or where is it supposed to be? Hex info tab. Yeah, you mean they're like lower. Yeah, you mean obstacle distance. Yeah. Or I've been only looking at the line of sight. You can see the 100%. Let me move this here. So I can see that it's a 100% line of sight. And the obstacle is 0% and this distance is divided by 1. But what does that, the distance is just telling me the distance from that hex where you are. But what is then the obstacle is now 50%. It's in the hex where we are. Obstacle here is 0%. I guess obstacle 40% in here. Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, that just is in the calculation. It's in the calculation of the line of sight percentage. Because they had some kind of like a graphical illustration of that in the manual. They like talk, if this is now the unit where we are, and I look in here, let's say that I look into this hex. It's something like oh, maybe like something like that, what the manual was like trying to say, that yeah, you kind of iteratively go from each hex to the surrounding hex, and then they use those things to calculate the line of sight modifier. And here the obstacle is 0%, but here we have still line of sight 0. Here is obstacle 40%, here is 0%, 0%. But then it just drops to, here is 60% for instance. Yeah, it drops out because there's the rule that there is a height level difference, so you can't basically see what is behind a different height, so that's why it's not calculating any of those values for here. But yeah, here this is like impacted that, yeah, you can see like here, but then there is, I don't know, obstacles that you can't see from this side at all or this side, and then it becomes limited. Something like that. Yeah, that's just what it meant. There is that one picture in the manual that kind of explains the calculation. And here in the Bastogne area they tried to really break through. They are really brave, these guys. King, more. So where is Easy Company? Easy Company is 101st Airborne. Which regiment were they in? But it's kind of cool that if they really teach in West Point the battles or the tactics that Captain Winters applied in Normandy when they attacked that fixed 88mm flak position. And then the other one was of course that fight at the crossroads in the Netherlands at the time of it was after Market Garden, yeah, that they took out like 2 companies of Germans or something with that single move. Look at that. Like if we would go with Panthers against the airborne regiment, it's actually saying that it's 1-to-1. So those guys are really, they are really the elite units. Even though they don't have any real anti-tank equipment. And they have actually broken through here. They might be like trying to overwhelm our supply positions. So I basically have to now somehow rescue these guys from these hordes of 101st Airborne. That's kind of cool. And here we have another American unit that has been trying to like sneak behind us. 9th Armored Division. What are these? These are 82nd Airborne. Where were the 82nd historically deployed? Were they north of Bastogne then? Or they just appear to be here? Also elite formation. Like we are trying to fight them with, like, yeah, with basic Volksgrenadiers. No way. Yeah, but I think we still have fuel though. Like if you look at this, we still can move the units. So that's cool. Now I'm just like going through the front. And they apparently took out the roadblock unit. So that's now empty. The city has been captured. They didn't make any attempt to reconnect. He could probably destroy this task force and them. I think the only way for us to keep this thing going is to just like head to Ardennes or something. Head to Ardennes and wish for the best. Yeah, I'm just browsing through. I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna leave it to the next stream. I'm still committed to play this out. You know. Eventually it's gonna probably come to that the Americans are just, or the Allies are so strong that I just have to hold everything, and turn after turn I just have to like, basically I'm gonna be immobilized if I don't get these supplies, so. But yeah, I'm gonna check out. First I'm gonna check the manual. Oh, not the manual, sorry, I just checking the chat. Okay, so your unit went through Czechoslovakia in 45. Missed the Battle of the Bulge. Okay. But yeah. Yeah, it was fairly okay. Interesting to, it was a little bit of a shocker in the beginning when I just wanted to check out the fuel stats and then, we are out of fuel. So, kind of crazy situation. But apparently it's not affecting us yet in this turn, but that's gonna be definitely really demoralizing to see if we just can't push any further. So then I really have to maybe think about think about continuing the campaign. But yeah, I'm just using all of it. Yeah, but yeah, I guess if when we hit that like brick wall, if this campaign is, we feel like we can't progress that way, then in that case it's gonna be War in the East too. I've been really waiting for that they fix that FLAG issue. There is now a beta hotfix that you can download, but I'm waiting for the official release. So, because that just seems like a potentially major problem if I'm planning to use the Luftwaffe there, but did those lines not appear on Twitch? Oh yeah, they didn't appear. Yeah, let me check. This has been actually somewhat problematic sometimes. Yeah, now it works. Yeah, I usually check it out, but I was just doing like showing the line of sight thing here. I was trying to, let me show it to you. Like for instance in this hex, I was trying to show that the line of sight value is in here. 100%. And then obstacle value 0% and the distance from this initial hex. Yeah, it's always, because it doesn't always work. You have to, every time you launch the streaming service, you have to remember to check that it's really working out. Yeah. But yeah, really good that Runyu and you pointed that out. So hopefully in the next stream that don't happen again. But yeah, nothing else comes to mind. So that I can tell you that on Sunday in the evening there is not gonna be a stream. So if it's gonna be then in the morning, Sunday morning, that's of course evening in California, you know, European time. It's like 10-hour difference. So but yeah, that's all of my announcements. But we are still far away from Sunday. But see you then in the next stream. Good night. Bye.